Hey, it's Brent with First International Bank and Trust. Wanted to talk today a little bit about closing costs and specifically something called seller concessions or seller paid closing costs and how that can reduce potentially the amount of out of pocket expense that you might incur with your mortgage or buying a home. With the way the market had been, and we're recording this here in August of 2022, but the last year to 2 years, it's definitely been what most would consider a seller's market, where there wasn't a lot of help from the seller on closing costs or price reductions, and more of a bidding war more than a buyer's market. With the market maybe shifting a little bit, wanted to re-hit on what seller concessions mean and how that can help you potentially as a buyer to reduce the amount of cash that you'll need. So typically on closing costs, things that are paid by the seller on a standard transaction here in South Dakota would be things like transfer tax, deed preparation. Then there's some split fees that are typically split 50-50 with buyer and seller, and that would be things like the title insurance, the closing or settlement fee at the title company. And those are typically things that the seller is responsible for. So what I wanted to talk to today is when you're putting in your offer and you're working with your realtor to consider maybe asking the seller to help out with some additional items that might help you with reducing your cash needed for your closing. So typically buyers fees would be things like the appraisal on the home, a survey on the property, any inspections that you decide to do, any loan related fees, credit reports, origination fees, a processing fee, an underwriting fee, things like that. And even things like setting up your escrow account or paying your first year of insurance. So if you'd like to negotiate that into the price, obviously everything's negotiable. You're going to want to talk to your realtor, but that is something that is allowed with your mortgage loan is to have the seller actually help cover some of those closing costs. So the standard kind of rule of thumb on most loan programs would be up to 3% of whatever the sales price is. Can be given from seller to buyer to help with closing costs. So simple math on a $300,000 purchase, 3% or up to $9,000 can be given from seller to buyer to help cover closing costs, prepaid items, escrow account, things that are needed to be collected at closing. They can be contributed to from the seller. So not always something that works in every transaction. Definitely depends on the market, depends on the property, depends on the seller, the buyer, all of that. But it is something that's allowable from the mortgage side and something that you might want to consider to help reduce the amount of funds that you're going to need to come up with. So the one thing the seller cannot contribute to is your down payment. So if you need a down payment on your particular loan, the seller cannot help with that. There are some down payment assistance options available. The seller just can't contribute to that down payment. So if you've got questions on that or it's something that you think you might want more information on, feel free to reach out to our team. Be happy to help you with that. And we'd probably just direct you to a local real estate professional or realtor to help with the specifics on that. But it is allowable with the loan programs. And it's spelled out right in the purchase contracts and everything is put in writing on that. So again, let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully you found this helpful and hopefully we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.